After 3 straight days of profit, we're heating up just in time for Money Making Weekend. Let's do it, boys and girls. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jason Madness, of course, with Winning Bets, giving you guys free sports picks every single day. And it's the Friday edition here of Winning Bets. You guys know what that means. It's Money Making Weekend. And today's show is absolutely jam-packed with bets. We've got bets across different sports, across different leagues. I'm excited to get on into it. I'm excited to get in these bets with you guys. And I'm excited to cash these bets with you guys, most importantly. And we need a good weekend of sports because it is 2 degrees here in Chicago. It's probably going to be much of the same over the course of this weekend. So it's just going to be a good time. Play some bets over this weekend and just do nothing but ring that cash register all weekend as we put money up in your pocket. Before we do that, though, let's of course recap what happened yesterday as we had a good night here. I gave you guys 2 bets on yesterday's show. Both of those cash. You guys remember it was Lazio, Empoli. Both teams have scored over 2.5. That was a winner. That one was an early winner there for us on Thursday morning. And then at night, how about those Grizzlies Suns first quarter 2-way money line? Gave you guys that bet on yesterday's show. I went back in for another unit because for whatever reason, the public was betting the other side, and we were able to bet that same parlay again at minus 103. I gave it out on yesterday's show at minus 123. I thought that was a big discrepancy between minus 123 and minus 103, so I gladly went back in for another unit. I saw you guys reacting to me on Twitter or responding to me on Twitter. A lot of you guys got that at plus money, so just a fantastic cash right there with the Grizzlies and Suns both winning that first quarter. Sweat, uncomfortable like hell watching the Suns. The Grizzlies destroyed the Pistons, but the Suns, boy, they went down early, had to claw their way back, and then held on late in that first quarter to go ahead and get the victory, but gave us a good cash right there in 2 units. Essentially a 2-unit win right there, so that was very, very good. Our only trip up of the day was we faded the Pelicans in terms of their 3-pointers, gave out all the stats on Twitter about how the Pelicans are the league worst, one of the league worst there in defending the 3, 29th in the league. So we took 2, the juice was so much, we had to take 2 players, parlay them together. They went a combined 2 for 13 from 3-pointer. So just a bad night. Just guys shrug your shoulders and move on to the next bet. But overall, we went 3-1 and plus 1.6 units. And now up on the week at plus 0.7 units up on the week. Falling back from our disastrous Monday, 3 straight positive days, 3 straight days to put money in your pocket just in time for Money Making Weekend. All right, I said it was a big show in terms of giving out bets, and that's exactly what it is. Again, it's soccer bets, it's NBA player props, it's NBA first quarters. Let's just jump it off, and let's kick it off with today's bets that are the first ones in the FA Cup. I tweeted this one out on Monday. Be cautious if you want to go ahead and tail this bet. This involves the FA Cup here in England. It's Swindon Town versus Manchester City. I tweeted out on Monday, Manchester City team total up over 3.5 goals at plus 114 up over at BetRivers. Swindon Town's in League 2, so obviously a big discrepancy. In Manchester City, they kick everybody's ass in the Premier League. Now they're traveling. Who really cares where they play? They beat up everybody on any pitch. It doesn't really matter. But this team's in League 2, so they should significantly have their way. City is really only without Riyad Mahrez. That's the only player that went to the African Cup of Nations, so no big issues right there, where a lot of other teams, including Liverpool, they're getting decimated due to this African Cup of Nations. Not so much with City. They only lose Riyad Mahrez. They did, however, announce yesterday that 7 players have come down with COVID. Now, we expected when I gave this bet on Monday, there was going to be rotation in the squad. How much is there going to be rotation? I don't know. They've got 5 days off prior to this game. They've got another 7 days off before they have to play Chelsea next, so they could play as strong as a lineup as they want. But that being said, I do expect rotation. For instance, you're going to get Cole Palmer coming to the squad. Well, I guarantee you Cole Palmer, while he may not be a first-team regular, he's better than any player that Swindon Town's going to go ahead and put out there. Cole Palmer, you will know his name next year. He's going to get first-team opportunities, and he trains with these first-team players. So, they're going to rotate, but I'm not all that worried. Are the 7 players that got COVID, do they scare me? I don't know. They haven't ever told you what 7 players are. What if one of those 7 players is Ederson? Okay, well, he wasn't going to play in this game anyways. When due to rotation, at least in my expectation, they're probably going to put Stefan in goal. So let's see what 7 players get COVID. There's going to be natural squad rotation. City beats up on everybody. They're no longer in the EFL Cup, so they just have, obviously, Champions League and Premier League, and now FA Cup to focus on. So they got a deep squad. Expect some rotation. Even Kyle Walker may come back into the squad. Hell, he's been frozen out of the squad due to disciplinary actions, but if they have 7 players get COVID like they said, well, maybe now you got to bring a Kyle Walker back in the squad. Oh, Kyle Walker, he'll be the best player on the pitch, depending on what maybe the rotation is. So I'm a little nervous of this bet just due to the COVID issues and not knowing which 7 players got COVID. But at the end of the day, it's Manchester City. It's team total over 3.5, and at plus money, you can now get this at plus 155. They're going to beat up on Swindon Town. It's just, can they get the 4 goals? I would like to see lineups. Maybe you hold off and see lineups. Obviously, I gave this bet out on Monday, so there's nothing I can do. I hope they don't have a whole lot of rotation. Hopefully, big name players don't. Or maybe the players that do get COVID are the ones that were going to get rotated to the squad. Now they got to play all the big name players. We don't know. It's a lot of unknown. I'm rolling Manchester City team total up over 3.5 goals at plus 114. Staying with the FA Cup, this game is on Saturday. I'm doing Leicester Watford over 2.5 goals and both teams to score at plus 130 up over at Bet Rivers. Look, we know these two teams really well. We've been betting on them throughout the Premier League all season long. This bet cashed earlier this season at the King Power Stadium where this game will be played. That was a 4-2 game. Watford's games are averaging 3.2 goals per game. Leicester's games are averaging 3.6 goals per game. We know how Leicester scores. We know how they give it up. Watford under Claudio Ranieri has been significantly better. He's really gotten them up out of the relegation threat right there. So, yeah, we saw this game play out earlier in the Premier League. They're going to play a general same squad. There will be rotation, of course, because it is a cup game. But just the way these two teams have been playing, the way their brand of football is, I like it. I like it. So both teams scoring over 2.5 is the bet for me at plus 130 between Leicester and Watford. All right, in terms of the FA Cup, that's going to be it here in terms of this show. I am interested in every single FA Cup game that involves Liverpool, but I'm hesitant just because of COVID, right? If we lose this Manchester City bet, I bet it's going to be because of the 7 players got COVID and we end up getting burned on that. So I don't need to. That news definitely put me on pause and said, okay, let's wait for these other teams. Let's wait until we see lineups. So just make sure you follow me on Twitter. It's at WinningBetsPod. It's at WinningBetsPod. Any FA Cup game that involves a Premier League team, I've got my eye on. And once lineups come out, I'll be looking to make some bets. All right, there's another soccer game going on today, though, that I'm very much interested in. It's in the Bundesliga, and it's Bayern versus Gladbach. This one, this is not going to be a popular pick. I'll just go and say, you guys know how we've been riding the Bayern train. We've been getting Bayern cashes. We find the right angle for Bayern games, and they help us put money up in their pocket. This pick right here, I wish maybe one of these days I'll take a screenshot of my Twitter DMs. When I have a losing day, it's unreal. The people that hit me up and say all these negative things about me and whatever. I don't let it impact me whatsoever. It doesn't impact me. This bet right here, though, if it doesn't cash, people are gonna come at me. I'm either gonna look like a dumbass or I'm gonna look like the smartest guy on the planet. But there's enough stats to back this bet up that says maybe I can be the smartest guy on the planet. What's the bet? Bayern team total under 2.5 goals at plus 110 up over at DraftKings. Why do we like this so much? Well, it's only cashed in 7 of the last 9 head-to-heads, including 2 games this season. And remember, one of those games that it cashed in earlier this season, we bet it. It was the season over. We backed Bayern on their team total. Watch that entire game. Jan Sommer, the goalkeeper there by Gladbach, he's the Swiss national keeper as well. He is absolutely outstanding. Watch that game. We lost that bet because of Jan Sommer. That guy is just absolutely outstanding. He's the reason why we lost that bet. Bayern's going to be without Neuer between the sticks, so maybe that'll make them play a little bit more defensive. They don't have their top goalkeeper in this game, at least according to Flash Score. He's out due to an illness. They also don't have their big summer signing, the center back there from Leipzig. Not sure how to pronounce that guy's name, but he came over from Leipzig. He's going to be out also in this game. So maybe without their star goalkeeper, maybe without their center back, maybe that has them play a little bit more defensive. Even if not, Neuer was in those 7 cashes, when this stayed up under 2.5. Gladbach has given Bayern a ton of fits. Again, it's cashed in 7 of the last 9 head-to-heads, including 2 already this season. I'm rolling with it. So Bayern team total under 2.5. It will not be a popular bet. Let's see. I'm fascinated to watch this game. For the first time ever, will not be rooting for a Bayern squad. Let's go Gladbach. You can get it done, baby. All right, let's stay with soccer and go over to Ligue 1 now, the French league, and let's look at Metz for Strasbourg. I like over 2.5 goals at -102 up over at FanDuel. This is cash in the last 3 head-to-heads. Metz games are averaging 3.3 goals. Strasbourg's games are averaging 3.2 goals. Metz, when they're at home, have the league best average of 3.7 goals per game. Strasbourg on the road is 2.9. All right, a lot of stats right there that say we can go up over 2.5, so I'm rolling. We're rolling right there with that -102 up over at FanDuel. We can't leave La Liga out of all of our soccer bets, so now let's jump over to Spain and get in a couple bets on La Liga. I like Valencia up over their team total, over 3.5 cards at +136. You got Hernandez reffing this match. Remember last time we backed this referee Hernandez? It was in the Valencia versus Levante game. We took over 5.5 cards and got an easy cash in that. Why did we get an easy cash in that game? Well, Hernandez is the #1 referee in La Liga, giving out cards at 7.2 per game. Valencia is #1 in La Liga at getting yellow cards. So, yeah, it's a perfect match. You got the team that commits the most yellow cards against the referee that gives out the most cards. You got Valencia going up against Real Madrid, an opponent that they'll play them tough. It should be a cagey match. They'll probably lose 2-1, something like that, maybe 2-0, but it'll be close. It'll be cagey, and that results in fouls, and that results in yellow cards. So I'm taking Valencia team total up over 3.5 cards at +136. One more bet from La Liga. Let's do Mallorca versus Levante. Man, I kill these clubs' names. I got to get better at that. Over 5.5 total cards at +140. Look, these teams rank number 3 and number 5 in La Liga in terms of getting yellow cards. Ref Vasquez, he's decent. He only gives out 4.3 cards per game, which is about average in the league, but we're really relying on the number 3 and the number 5 teams in La Liga getting after it, getting cards. This was successful last time when we did Valencia and Levante. Granted, there was a better ref than Hernandez, but still, when you get 2 teams that just go at it and get yellow cards, hey, I'm rolling with this one. So Mallorca versus Levante over 5.5 cards at +140 up over at FanDuel. All right, now let's flip the conversation up over to basketball. And first, let's start with those NBA first quarter bets. Let's go ahead and do Jazz Raptors over 53.5 points at -113 up over at FanDuel. In the last 10, these teams have combined for 9 and 11. Not sexy, but they're averaging 55 and 58 points. I absolutely love that right there. Their season numbers would suggest that this would the under would hit, but you can't ignore recent trends, right? Just because you have season-long trends, we know NBA is a long season. You got to look at it in smaller chunks. The smaller chunk says the over should cash, and should cash pretty easy because they're averaging 55, 58 points. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with over 53.5 points at -113 over FanDuel and Jazz versus Raptors. The next one we want to go ahead and do is Wizards versus Bulls over 57.5 points at -113 up over at FanDuel. The last 10, these teams are cashing the over 15-5. And they're averaging 57 and 58 points. So right there, season-long numbers again would suggest that you should take the under. But you got to look at recent trends. The basketball is a very long season. Recent trends suggest that the over should hit. Again, it's cashing 15 and 5. And the average number of points is right there. So we'll go ahead and take over 57.5 points at -113. Plus, you get Bradley Beal, Wizards. He scores lots of points. Bulls are a big offensive team. Yeah, a lot to like here. So give me over 57.5 points in that game. All right, so those are 2 overs. Let's now go ahead and do 2 unders. How about Wolves Thunder? Does that sound familiar? What did we do 2 nights ago on Wednesday? We cashed under 54.5 points. There was 40 points scored. These same 2 teams are going at it again tonight. The only difference is this game will be played in Thunder, I think it is this time, where the other night it was played in Minnesota, if I'm recalling off the correct of my head. So the numbers, they don't change all that much. And season numbers, they definitely change. But last 10 numbers, they don't change. I'm going back to the well. They're giving us under 56 this time. That's because of season numbers, but recent numbers should suggest the under will come in very easily, just like it did Wednesday night when there was only 40 points. So I'll go and take under 56 and see if we can't get another cash at -110 up over at DraftKings. The other under I want to go ahead and do is do Kings Nuggets under 58 points at -110 up over at DraftKings. These teams are combining to cash the under at 21 and 9. Their games are averaging 53 and 52 points. The last 10, they're cashing the under 11 and 9, and they're averaging 55 and 55 points. I'll gladly take under 58 points at -110 over at DraftKings between those Kings and those Nuggets. All right, we got to get in one against the spread here in the first quarter. It's our favorite team that we've been cashing these guys all day long. You guys know who it is? Who is it? It's the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've got the best record in the NBA. They sit at 16-2. Covering that first quarter spread. So go ahead and give me those Cavs minus 1.5 points at minus 122. I cannot get away with this. We've gotten so many cashes with the Cavaliers on the road. Look, again, they're 16-2 with a plus 5.94 point differential. The Blazers at home are 8-11-2 with a minus 0.62 point differential. The last 10, the Cavs have a plus 6.5 point differential. The Blazers are minus 3.8. I'm going to go ahead and ride a bet that we've been very successful on, and the Cavs are obviously the best team in the NBA on the road. So, yeah, don't even think twice about this one. Cavs minus 1.5 and minus 122 up over at FanDuel. All right, let's go ahead and round out the show before we get to a free roll here with some NBA player props for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and look at that Bulls-Wizards game. I'm going to do Nikola Vucevic over 18.5 points at minus 106 up over at FanDuel. This is obviously the center there for the Bulls. The season numbers there for the Wizards, and even recent numbers for the Wizards in terms of defending the center position, they are terrible. They are allowing on the season 25.4 points per game on 56.7% field goal percentage and 15.8 rebounds allowed. Last 30, they're allowing 28.5 points on 63.6% field goal percentage and 17.6% rebounds per game. Those numbers are only worse than the Hornets. They're the second worst team in the NBA in defending that center position. He got 22 points earlier this season going up against these Wizards. It's a no-brainer bet. Let's hope we can get a good cash. So I just told you guys that the Wizards are the second worst team in defending that center position. Who's the next worst defending position team? How about those Dallas Mavericks? So why don't we go ahead and tail our boy Christian Wood over 18.5 points at even money up over at DraftKings. I mean, pretty much just take those carbon copy stats I said for the Wizards, and they're a touch better because they're the third worst team and not the second worst team. They're absolutely atrocious in terms of defending the center position. Their starting center, Willie Cauley-Stein, he's out for this game. Yeah, there's a lot to like here with Christian Wood going up over 18.5 points at even money. So we'll go ahead and back him up over at DraftKings. All right, two more player props from me, and this one comes from the same game. It's that Cavaliers game going up against the Blazers. The Blazers are absolutely terrible at defending the paint from a power forward position and also a center position. I already tweeted kind of this play out earlier. No, sorry, I did not tweet this play out. We're backing this game in the first basket promo up over at FanDuel just because the Blazers are terrible at defending the paint. So why not take both of the guys that are really good for the Cavaliers? I'm going to go ahead and take Jarrett Allen over 17.5 points at minus 105 up over at DraftKings. And I'm also going to do Evan Mobley over 15.5 points at minus 115 over at DraftKings. Just the Blazers cannot defend the paint from the power forward and center position. One of the worst in the league at those two positions combined. So, yeah, I got no problem backing these two guys. So we'll hopefully get a cash there with Allen and Mobley. All right, before the show ends, let's go ahead and talk some NFL Week 18. I don't have any NFL bets for you guys on today. I got my ass handed. I got my ass handed to me last season on the last week of the NFL. It's brutally tough to predict. I think largely it's tough to predict because of player incentives. You see game plans change sometimes on the last week. They may target a player more than what they did throughout the season because he's this close to an incentive. Coach is a player's coach, and they want to build something for next season and all this stuff. I don't know. I just got my ass handed to me last season on the last week of the NFL. You also got a lot of games that don't matter. There's only a handful of games that really matter. So why get my ass kicked on a week that's going to be pretty tough to predict? I'll sit back. I got enough soccer bets over the course of this weekend. I got NBA bets that I'll get in more on Saturday and Sunday. So I just give you guys a lot of caution. The NFL Week 18, it can be a bloodbath. So don't go crazy on the NFL this weekend. All right, before I leave, let me get you guys with a free roll. This is my Refer a Friend. We had a great supporter here of the show that lives in Virginia. They went ahead and signed up on PointsBet. If you do that, and if you refer one of your friends, you get a Refer a Friend bonus. So I got a $50 free roll. I'm going to go ahead and use it this week, and the parlay comes in at plus 202. What's in this parlay? I like up over 2.5 goals in Empoli versus Sassuolo. We obviously know Empoli because we got that good cash there on Thursday morning. Sassuolo, you could really just interchange them with Lazio, and they're also goal happy. They're also concede a lot of goals. So like over 2.5 goals in Empoli versus Sassuolo as the first leg of that parlay. Also like up over 2.5 goals in Frankfurt versus Dortmund. That bet cashes a ton in these head-to-heads. Both these teams score. Both these teams give it up. So give me over 2.5 goals in that game. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop in 3 legs of the NFL in terms of money line. I just said be cautious in the NFL, but if you're going to bet the NFL this weekend, you better bet games that matter. because the other ones are going to be really, really unpredictable. These 3 NFL games all matter. What about the Colts money line going up against the Jags? Hey, you beat the Jaguars, you're in the playoffs. I mean, come on. We already know the Colts are a better team, and they got that motivation of winning, you're in. So I had to put the Colts money line parlay in there. Had to put the Titans money line parlay up in there. They're going up against the Texans. They win this game. They've got the number 1 seed. And who's trying to come back in to give them a deep playoff run? Derrick Henry is trying to work his way back. They need to give Derrick Henry that extra week to come off that injury and be the player that he can be in the playoffs to carry them to the Super Bowl. This team is going to be absolutely motivated to get that first round bye, if it's just for nothing else but to get Derrick Henry that extra week of rest, which every other 52 guys in that locker room knows that's their best chance to make a Super Bowl run, is if they have Derrick Henry. They're going to beat the Texans. They're going to get that number 1 seed. So I had to put in the Texans and I had to put in the Bills. They beat the Jets. They're going to win the division. That's everything. That's a home game in the playoffs. You don't want to go on the road to the playoffs. You want people coming to your stadium. You beat the Jets. You now have a home game in Buffalo. So how can you not do that? So 3 games that absolutely matter. 3 games that if they win, they control their own destiny. Give me those Colts. Give me the Titans. Give me the Bills to round out the plus 202 parlay on my free roll this weekend. All right, guys, I obviously gave you a ton of bets. Let's go ahead and do the recap. Let's go ahead and take Manchester City team total up over 3.5 goals at plus 114. Let's go ahead and take Leicester versus Watford. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at plus 130. Let's do that Bayern team total under 2.5 goals at plus 110. Metz versus Strasbourg over 2.5 goals at minus 102. Let's do Valencia team total over 3.5 cards at plus 136. Let's do Mallorca versus Levante over 5.5 cards at plus 114. Let's do Bubicic over 18.5 points at minus 106. Let's do Christian Wood over 18.5 points at even money. Jared Allen over 17.5 points at minus 105. Evan Mobley over 15.5 points at minus 115. Cavs Raptors over 53.5 points at minus 113. Wizards Bulls over 57.5 points at minus 113. Kings Nuggets under 58 points at minus 110. Wolves Thunder under 56 points at minus 110. And Cavs minus 1.5 points on the first quarter spread at minus 122. Guys, I am absolutely pumped up for Money Making Weekend. We're coming in hot, coming off 3 straight days of profit. Hit that like button. And look at those bets I'm giving you. You gonna tail one of those bets? Hit that like button and let me know, guys. You gotta be a part of Money Making Weekend. We're coming off 2021, putting plus 129 units in your pocket. 2022 starts right here the first week. We're gonna absolutely crush it this weekend on Money Making Weekend. I want you guys to be a part of it. All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. Stay warm. 2 degrees here in Chicago. Won't be going outside. We'll be sitting here and cashing bets all weekend. All right, guys, come back on Monday's show. We'll recap it, count it up, and we'll kick off another week here of winning bets. Have a good one. Thanks for watching till the end. I'm Jason Mattis. Any love you can show by giving me a like, a subscription, or a comment, or even just share this video is very much appreciated. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to increase your chances of locking in the same odds as I talked about today. And check out my other great videos in these corners.